Hi everyone, I'm Deanna Clyne. I'm here at the Anton Art Center and I'm just going to do a little collage project for you today. So the fun thing about collage is you can go through all of your things at home or in the studio and just grab little scraps of things, whether it's paper or I have some leftover tiles here from doing peel and stick tile on the floor. I have some old artwork, little scraps of paper. These are old record sleeves that I got in an estate sale. Some of them have some watermarking on them. So I can cut them up and reuse those. Some thread, you'll want some glue for sure. Today I'm just gonna use a glue stick, but if you want, you can grab out the Mod Podge, or if you are with an adult, you may use a hot glue gun, but just be extra careful with that. Let's see, I have some scissors. I just grabbed everything. Old film, because although you want to start with a theme kind of for your project, and that theme might be a color story. It might be something that you really like. You really like animals or music or flowers. And then you just can build on that one theme for your project. So I really have no idea what I'm gonna do at all. But I think I'm gonna start by just looking through my little record sleeves here. I really like them because there's some imaging on them. They're all different colors and some of them have some pattern, which is really nice. And then also there's multiple shapes going on here, right? So, okay, like say this one, we have stripes in black and white. I mean, kind of like a more of a tan brown color. And then the whole piece is rectangular, is square, and then you have a circle in the center. So there's a lot of things to work from. So let's see. Kind of like even just this plain one kind of has some nice folds going on too. Just a little insight to my thought process here. So you want to just start with a piece that kind of like this. It's nice and neutral. So I'm going to start with my little record sleeve, and I'm going to start to build. So I've just started with a 9x12 piece of Bristol board, which is just a fancy name for poster board. You do not have to start this large. You can do a much smaller piece, but you just never know really what's going to happen. So, all right. So I'm going to start with my glue stick here. And we're good up there? Okay. All right. So when you're gluing, try to be rather neat in the beginning, just because you don't want to get your fingers all glued and then get all the other pieces, with glue on top of them. So just be careful of that. Okay. All right, so we've kind of done the corners here and then a little bit of the inside. I like to leave some of the corners unglued. This allows for me to kind of tuck some things underneath if I need to. Like little scraps of paper, just kind of layering all the materials. So it's not that collage is traditionally just paper. It can be, any type of mixed media thing, string, pipe cleaners, all kinds of stuff. Okay, let's see here. Got some little squares. So I'm just gonna start building off of this. So I've got my square bit here. So I'm just gonna start adding some little things in here. I like to play around with color. So I'm gonna go with some colors that I like. First, maybe get some, see, I'm just kind of pulling up the brown piece. Okay, so I'm liking what's going on here. What else do we have? Oh, I can just tuck this right in here. Okay, so once I kind of know what my next step is going to be, we can glue these down. Oops. That. And you can always go back in the next day and just kind of re-stick things down to make sure that they're actually where you want them to be, in corners and all of that stuff. All right, gray square is down there. We're gonna start with the one that I placed down first because that's gonna be down on the white paper. I want that to be glued down first. Sneak it back behind that brown piece. I think I have this one next. Do I want that in there or out there? I think right there. Let's do a little fold there. Okay. If you can't decide what you like, or if you think a piece should go somewhere, just go for it. You can always pull up the piece. You can always cover it up with another layer of paper or whatever else you want to use. Okay, now we've got another little layer on here. I saw something I wanted to use. Oh, this is from a bit of soap, that handmade soap that I bought, and this girl actually made this paper as well. I thought it was really pretty, so I saved it. Can you not see it?
You can show the pattern a little better.
Oh. Okay. So I'm just gonna cut different shapes out here. So I think I'm gonna do like more of a petal thing. I always like floral stuff. So when in doubt, I will start doing some floral things, and I'll just start placing some bits around here, seeing if I like it. It's all about just seeing what's looking good to you. Okay, another little chunk here. This also kind of fills in that white space with the Bristol board, but this is a translucent paper, so I can still kind of see through and see that square shape that's mimicking the other square shapes. Okay. Let's do a little stout petal here.
So do you just collect things knowing eventually you'll put it into a collage?
Well, I can't throw anything away, so I just collect everything. No, I collect things that have interesting texture or something handmade like this. You know, I wouldn't want to just throw this away. So, oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is magazines are really good for this kind of stuff. If anyone still gets magazine subscriptions. What else did I bring in? Old calendars are really good. Oh, I did. I also grabbed some felt here. Am I like in the line of it? Okay. Grab some felt. Here's some magazines. You can kind of go through and just grab some little things out, which I'm going to do here shortly. I have a lot of old wallpaper and old wrapping paper that I like to use because you just can't find it anywhere else. And kind of makes for a nice unique collage. Any other questions? I also grabbed some drawing. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I grabbed some charcoal pencils and some graphite just to kind of, if I wanted to add some little drawings back in here, I could do that. Although you can really put, oh, I also have some India ink, which I'll probably use that. You can really put these together quickly, but I really think it's nice to have a couple going at once, and then you can kind of go back and forth. You don't have to finish it right away. You can kind of work on all different ones as it comes to you. So here's a little magazine here, and you can go through and cut out some pieces before you start. I also just love magazines. Okay, so I think I like this gold shoe thing going on here. So there's gold right here, the gold in this little sculpture here really ties in with the gold thread of my little paper from the soap that I bought. I'm going to leave these little petals kind of loose too. All right. Hope I can cut out from these magazines. I just grabbed them over there. All right. So I've got this just a real simple little cutout. And then I'm going to go back in and really give it a nice trim. Be careful using your scissors.
And ask your parents before cutting out their magazine.
Yep. Yeah, ask your parents before cutting anything out of anywhere. Make sure it's something that you can use. Newspaper is really good too. If your parents get the newspaper, the funnies or the comic strips are always really fun to use. Okay. This is a little lesson in scissor patience. Take your time, get a really nice cutout. Okay. All right, so let's add that up here. Do I want something behind there? Maybe. So this is just a little chunk of what is this? This is wrapping paper. Some vintage wrapping paper. Oh, I also have some fancy scissors, the ones that cut out all different edges. You can use those. And give your edges a little something. Oops. Okay, so I'm just going to layer another piece here. Got to pull this up. Trying to get exactly where I want it. Okay, we'll stick this down. So I kind of make sure that I have something where I want it to be, kind of place it there, see if it looks good. And then you can add it on there, or glue it, I should say. Cool, that looks good. Gives me a nice little background for my shoe. Do I want my shoe over there, over here? Let's go right there. Changed my spot here. Okay. What else do I want here? Let's do a little more of this. Like I said, you can just keep adding on. Okay, glue this piece into place. Where's my time? Which one is it? Okay, so that kind of fits in there. Okay, so I think I have some really nice color stuff going on here. I'm gonna do one more chunk of this stuff, and then I'm gonna start adding in some hand-drawn stuff. And you can keep layering paper and whatever else you want, as much as you want. Keep changing it if you'd like. And I might still do that, but I'd like to be able to show you just how to do your own collage at home, give you some ideas. Peel this back a little bit. This glue sticks faster than you think. You wouldn't expect it. Okay, there we go. Kind of leaving those up because then I can even tuck more things into these spots back here if I want to over time. Okay, once they kind of set up, and I've kind of brought that color around here. Okay, now let's do some stuff with some India ink. This stuff is really fun. It just comes, so you can get this at Michael's Arts and Crafts. It's down the paint aisle or the fine art department. And it has like this little stick on the end. So you can draw with this little stick, or you can even use like a separate little chopstick or skewer. You can just start to draw with it. Zip it in like you have a ink, a quill and ink. Everyone knows what that is still. We dip the feather into the ink. Do a couple things here. I'm going to show you a couple other techniques. Okay. All right. Yeah. Some little dots here. Be careful doing this. Make sure you're on a hard surface, not on the carpet. India ink is really fluid, so you can just move it around if you want, just with your breath. Okay, I'm gonna add some more little chunks of this in here. Sometimes when you look back at it, you kind of see that you're missing a little something. So we're gonna use the fancy scissors. They're always really fun, just kind of cut out little bits. Keep filling in here. So I'm just layering continuing to layer those colors and those different shapes together, different textures from different materials. So this is kind of where you can create your theme if you haven't started with a really solid theme. Like I had mentioned before, music or flowers or whatever your theme might be. This is more of a shape thing going on here. Okay. Just kind of moving some things around, seeing what looks good, layering some things. If there's something you don't like, you can cover it up. Like this splotch here, I mean, what was I thinking, right? So I'm just going to cover it up with another little chunk of paper. And just creates another layer. You can really spend as much time as you want on something like this. I'm going to tack that one right over there. This might look a little weird here, but I think it's going to create a nice little base and kind of really tie all of those different colors and textures together. Need some heavy duty glue for this one. Get out the, warm up the hot glue gun. Okay. I always think this glue is going to be purple, and it's not. It's the whole point of it, right? Okay. Down. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Well, I'm really liking what's going on here. I kind of have a nice little rhythm so you can see the different layers building up, which is exactly what collage is. You can use paper, tissue paper, homemade paper, some wallpaper, wrapping paper, any type of artwork that maybe you've already done. You can add in, cut up and add in. And then on top of that, after you started to layer, add some other things in with some India ink, maybe some charcoal pencils, maybe add a little thread later, whatever you want to do. The possibilities are really endless with collage. Well, thanks for joining me today. And once again, this was a little collage project, and I'm Deanna Clyne. Thanks so much.